Yeah, you can present now.
Okay. So, hello everyone. Welcome back to our Salesforce training for beginners. So, good morning, afternoon, and evening to everyone. So, today we'll be discussing about data modeling, which is one of the very important topic in Salesforce. And let me tell you guys, so in between while going with the data modeling, I'll be doing a demo, so which will be very useful for especially the beginners. So, and this is about me, myself, Ganeshwar Malba, and I am admin and developer. So, this is the agenda for today. So, we'll be discussing classic. Just a minute. Let me make it full screen. Okay, cool. So, this will be the agenda for today's session. So, it will be Classic versus Lightning UI in the Salesforce, which is very important because most of the companies they are transitioning to Lightning UI, and the next thing will be objects, then fields, relationships between the object, schema builder, and the demo. So I'll be sharing the link for the Trailhead modules as well, and at the end we'll be sharing few details where you can ask questions in our Salesforce community, and at the end, yes, we'll have a question and answer series, so you can ask your questions at the end of the session. Thank you. So let me begin with the classic versus Lightning UI. So the right side image which we can see here, that's a Lightning UI in the Salesforce, and to the left we can see it's a classic UI. So we can see the difference here. The Lightning UI is more attractive, a better UI, and it is more compatible and better responsiveness it has for devices such as like mobile, tabs, iPad. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and I'll show you guys a demo. The difference between the Lightning and the Classic I'll be showing. So Classic is the old UI for the Salesforce, and Lightning is the new UI. So in Classic, there are few things which won't be compatible in the present day with the JavaScript. So compared to Lightning, when it comes to Lightning, we have more features which are compatible with the JavaScript. So I'm trying to log into my org, developer edition org. So just a minute. In the URL, you can see Home Tools, and that's how you this is how you sign into your developer account. And if I get a time, I'll share the link to sign up for this account, and you guys can create your own account which is free from Salesforce to practice. So this is my free account of Salesforce developer edition. So this is a Lightning UI. You guys can see to the left we can see beside setup the dots here. This is called app manager, and you can see different apps available in my org. So this is my developer org or Salesforce org. So here there are different apps: marketing, sample console, LIC, community, Salesforce chatter, content. These are all the apps where we can see in the Lightning. And to the top right, if you can see, there is a symbol here. If you can click to that, and here you can see there is an option to switch back to Salesforce Classic. So if I click, we'll be moving to Salesforce Classic UI. So you can see the difference there, where we can see different apps available in our org. Okay, sorry for the connection guys, there was some issue. So I'll go ahead and I'll share the screen and I'll start again from where I stopped. So let me log into my Salesforce account. So I was showing you guys the difference between the classic UI and the Lightning UI. So this is a classic UI. So there are like few differences between the classic and the Lightning. So in the Lightning it is easy to navigate, whereas in classic it is not that easy to navigate through UI. So we can build attractive dashboards in the Lightning compared to classic. So let me show you guys few dashboards if there are any available in my org. So so I'm trying to go and find the dashboards. So whenever we do reporting in Salesforce, so there is a great feature in Salesforce for reporting. So once we have reporting in, to analyze it or to visualize this in a better way, we have something called dashboards. So let me check if I have few. So let me show you guys one. So it is very beautiful in Lightning compared to classic. So this is one of the example for which most of the users, they are trying to move it to Lightning. So this is called dashboard and it's better and easy to understand in point of analysis. So let me go ahead and continue on my slides. So coming to objects. So what are objects in Salesforce? So basically for Excel we have table, something called table. So in the same way we have objects in Salesforce. So you guys can see property name, price, bedrooms, bathroom square footage. Those are the columns in the table, whereas in Salesforce we call those as a fields. So objects is like we save the data. It's like a database tables, and we think that columns as fields and rows as records. So those columns you see, those are called fields in Salesforce, and the other records. So basically in Salesforce we have three types of objects. So if to the right, if you can see the image, those are few objects, few examples, and you can see the second column in the image which says API name. In that you can see there are some objects which are appended with C at the end. Those are the custom objects like tables in Salesforce which user has created. And other than that, the objects which you see such as account, activity, asset relationship, those are objects which are predefined and which are called standard object in Salesforce. And the ones which are appended with C, those are called custom object. And regarding the junction object, these objects are useful to maintain the relationship between two different objects, and I'll explain more about the junction object in future. So I'll show you guys more about some standard and custom objects what we have here. So if I go to if you guys can click on setup, so it will open in a new tab where you guys can see object manager. Right to the home tab, you guys can see object manager, where we can see all the objects in your org. So these are all the objects I have in my org, and you can see this object API name is appended with C at the end. That means this is a custom object created by a user. And here you can see one of the object name activity, and this is the object which is predefined. It's a standard object and it is given by Salesforce. Whenever you have an org, you don't have to create, so it is given by Salesforce. And so next thing is the fields. So whenever you create an object, you need fields in order to save the data for a record. So these are few examples like the type of fields present in Salesforce. The first one, it's a URL field. So let's say we have an object, a posting site name, and we are creating 3 fields for that. So first field will be selecting as a URL type, that is just to post the URL for the posting site. And the second will be like we can choose between active and inactive value. Such type of fields are called pick list in Salesforce. And the third one is like just a text field, description. So we can just write a job description. And next, these are the some few of the field types which are present in Salesforce, which you can select while creating the columns, or you can say fields in the object or in Salesforce. So email, time, URL, date, formula, currency, geolocation. So if you are using a maps, so that is very helpful, the geolocation field. And the last two, lookup and master detail. Those are very, very important in Salesforce. So I'll be explaining this, and I'll show you guys all the other fields right now in a demo in my org. So let me open one of the object, and this is 62 org case. This is a custom object. As you can see, the API name is appended with C, and to the left we have fields and relationship. If you click on that, there is something, a new button there. If you click on that, we'll be able to create a new field. Here you can see all the available options you guys have for creating a new field on an object. So here we can see a URL at the end. We can have a time field, we can have a text field, and we can have email, number, percent, and phone field, and there are many more. And we'll be going into more detail for lookup and master detail relationship fields. These are very, very important fields. So object relationship fields. The first one is lookup. So lookup field is just a field where we will be creating a relationship between two objects, two tables, and it is mostly used to share data between those two objects. So it's not necessary to relate two objects, but Yes, it is just to share the data between those two objects. And in this lookup relationship, those two objects are independent. They are not dependent. They don't control each other. So, and whereas in the master detail relationship, so here it is created when two objects such as, let's say, parent and child relationship. It's like a parent and child relationship. So whenever, like, you have a child record, and that is, you won't be able to delete the child record without deleting a parent record. And like, a child record will not exist if you don't have a parent record. And for this, I'll give a demo. We'll be creating today objects and even the relations, like the lookup, the master detail relationship. We'll be going with that. So why we go for master detail relationship? So whenever, let's say, like, we have a record which needs to be deleted based on another record, so in that scenario we will go for master detail relationship. So here, whenever you are creating a master detail relationship field, it will be always on the child object, the detail object. So these are few things. And the owner field, there is owner field on the child record which will be derived from the master detail record. So these are the few things regarding the master detail and the lookup relation fields. So let me go ahead and let me create some objects as well as some fields, and then how we can relate those two objects. So let me start a demo. So if I go to object manager, so here to the top right you can see create with a drop down menu, and you can see a custom object option where you'll be able to create a custom object. Custom is a user defined object. So I'll be creating a custom object named property. So property. So you can see there is something called object name property here. And here there are few options while creating object. In the below section called optional features, here allow reports. So this, when we select allow reports during the creation of our object, so this gives this object fields we can use while doing reporting in Salesforce, and we can even track the history for the fields which are in this object if we select this option. So these are few things. And if you select the launch new custom tab, so you can see here what it will. So for the tab style, here you can see object manager as a tab above. Similarly, we will have this object as a tab. We can get it. So you can select any icon. Select next. Save. So go. So we have successfully created one custom object in Salesforce. So now we'll be going ahead and we'll be creating few fields. So let me show you guys how we can create fields now. So under the detail to the left, you can see fields and relationship. So that is the option we have to click in order to create a new fields. So you can see there are already 4 fields which are created by default. So we have just created a new object which is property, and we have not yet created any fields, but there are few fields. So these are like standard fields which Salesforce create, which are predefined, and like whenever you create a new custom object, you can see this fields created by, last modified by owner, and the name of the object. So I'll be creating few fields now. So you can see here a new option, new button to in order to create a new field. So basically what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to have created this object so we can show the relationship between the objects, and like this object can be used for real estate agents or like for customers to shop for homes, so they can use in their application. So let me go ahead and select price. So in order to select the price for the property, so we have a field called, there should be a field currency, you guys can see here. So we'll be selecting a field currency in order to have the price. So the field name will be price. You can see the field name here, the label is which you can see on the page, and the field name is it will be saved in the database in Salesforce with that name. So click next, click next, and select visible. This will be this field will be visible to all the profiles in Salesforce, and then save. So great. So now we have created one field which says price, and there is already field standard which is property name. Let's go and see, and we'll create one record and we'll see if we are able to see. Let's go to one of the application. Let's see marketing, and let's see if we have a tab there, name property. Yeah, here you go. So we have multiple tabs in this application which is marketing. So we can see here. So we are into the custom object which we have created just now. That's pretty great because we have just created within no time just one table, one object, and we have even created a field which we can use now in order to save record. So in order to create a new record, you can see a new button here once you click that. So here you go. So you can put property name, something like, let's say some address 2408, some street, Schema street or something, and then you can put the price, like let's say 4,000, and that's it. So it's pretty easy. So you can see here the detail page for the record which you have created. So that isn't great. It's really good. I feel good that I have created a custom object, field, and I've created a record. So let's go ahead and see, like if we would be, let's go ahead and we'll create one more object so that I can show you guys relationship between, how we can create a relationship between those two objects. Now, so let me go back to settings, click, then again object manager, you can see object manager here in order to create a new object. So again you'll be going to top right, create, drop down menu, arrow, click on custom object. So now we'll be creating something which is called a favorite object, like a favorite house or a favorite site for customers. So a label, I'll give it favorite. Next, here again allow reports, allow track history, and here you can see someone asked a question regarding the deployment status. You can put like in development if you are still not sure or you would like to make any changes in future in this object. So right now I'm just selecting deploy and launching as a new tab. So just save. So it's very easy. So select the icon for the tab. Now if you go back, this is a different, if you refresh this is a different app, but you would be able to see the tabs here as well. There you go. So we have properties tab, the object which we have created. Now we have created favorites. Now we will go ahead and add few fields in the custom object which we have just created. So this is the object which we have created. So again, going back to fields and relationship, in order to create a new field for a new custom object which you have created. Again, we are able to see 4 standard fields which are predefined created by Salesforce whenever you create a new custom object. So click on new in order to create a new field. So here we will be selecting a data type, what kind of field we want. In the last time we have selected currency because we wanted a price in that field. So this time let's select auto number. So this is like a system generated number. So like number 1, 2, we can give a format, a favorite name. So select auto number and the label name. Say favorite name and starting number. Here we can give 1. So from here we know which is favorite for customer. So they'll mark it as 1. And yep, that's it. So let's make it visible for all the profiles in Salesforce. And when I say profiles, you guys don't have to worry because in future sessions you'll come to know what exactly is profile. So that's it. Save. So cool. So we have now created 2 objects, which is favorite and one more is properties. So let's create some relationship between these 2. So now we have learned today that there are mainly 2 relationships in Salesforce, which is lookup and master detail. So we'll be like creating 2 custom relationship fields on the favorite object. So if we go to favorite object, so here we'll be creating 2 new fields. So like custom relationship fields. One will be for lookup and the other will be for master detail. Let's create for a lookup relationship. Let me check if yes, lookup relationship. So if you click new, so as we have 2 objects created, which is properties and favorite, so now we are creating a relationship between these 2 objects. So the first one we are creating is lookup relationship. So this is like mostly whenever we have something common to share between two objects, we'll be going for this kind of field or relationship. You can see it, lookup relationship. Please select that. Click next. So for related, so which object we are connecting this field to? So the one which we have created, let's look property. There you go. So we have property field, or we can even select different fields. It's not like, or we have contact, which is a standard object in Salesforce. Let's select contact and then click next. Here the field name, you can write it the same. Next. So make it visible for all. Next. Save and new. So we'll be creating one more field for master detail relationship. So now here, if you see, you have a selection where you can select a master detail relationship, which is the second relationship. So here we'll select property. There you go. So now we have created two objects and few fields. The two objects which we created were properties and favorite, and then we have created a relation between favorite and contact, which is lookup relationship, and also we have created a relationship between these two objects, which is a master detail relationship. So one more time I would like to just say that in the master relationship, if you the two objects are related, and even in the lookup, whereas in the master, if you delete the record from the properties which is related to the favorite, even the favorite record which is related to the property record, that will get deleted in the master detail relationship. So next thing I'll show you guys, if I have here. So this is just I wanted to show you guys a view. So let's say if we have a property, one object, and we might have many records of, so it's like a one-to-many relationship in the master detail. So we have one record which is related to three different records or many records. So this is one type of relationship under the master detail relationship. So demo, and the differences is like, so if you delete a if you delete a master object or a record, a record in the master detail, even the child will get deleted. And so here in lookup, no, it will not get deleted. And then capacity. So in an object, like on an object, we can create only two master detail fields. Whereas coming to lookup, we can create up to 25 fields, lookup fields. And this is a required field. So without filling the master detail field, we won't be able to save the record. Whereas if we have a lookup field, whenever we want, we can, with few changes, we would be able to change lookup to markup, master detail relationship we can convert, or vice versa we can do. And let me tell you guys about the junction object. This is a tricky subject, like topic, junction object, but I just tried my best to make it better for you guys. So here basically there is something called junction object in Salesforce. For the junction object, so whenever we have two objects, let's say teacher and a student, so a teacher might have many students, and a student will have many teachers, so it's like a many to many relationship. So in order to show the many to many relationship, in order to save the mapping, so we need a third object which is called a junction object. In this object we'll be saving the relationship between mapping between two different objects, which is student and teacher. So here this is called junction object. So so now custom object which is student and teacher, these two objects are in many to many relationship, and whereas a junction object with the student object, these two are in like one to many, and even this one to many relationship. So here only one teacher, but here there are many teachers. So here only one student, but in the student object there are many students. So this is like one to many, but these two custom objects, student and teacher, are related like many to many. These are some relationships. So this is the schema builder, which I'll be showing you guys. It's a tool like we can show to others, like, because this is really good for visualization. So we can show how exactly our objects are related to each other. So I'll give the demo on this as well. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let me change. And then go back to setup. So in the right, in the quick find search bar, if you can type schema builder, and the demo which we have today, so you guys can go ahead, and there will be a trailhead module named data modeling. So it's the same, so you guys can go ahead, and that it will be easy for you guys now to understand and finish that module in no time. So you guys can see here schema builder something. So here schema builder is like, here you can visualize data. It's like a tool like to visualize, to edit your data model, and like it helps like us to explain our how the data flows through our app. And one more thing here is, if you can click on elements, here we can create fields, we can create object. So I can even show you guys example. If you click, if you just bring here, there you go. So this is one of the shortcut way, so where you can come and create a new object, like we have created a property and we have created favorites. So here let me just create one object test. So here you can select, there you go. So we have one object created within just few seconds. That's great. And then like we have fields, so even we can create different fields in the object. Let's say I would like to create a date field, just drag and drop here, give it a name, date. There you go, and you have a date field here. And so this is one more good thing about schema builder. So it is like, so one of the shortest way here, we can come create objects, we can create fields, we can even do different things, like we can edit the properties, we can manage its permissions, and we can even delete the field. So now what I'll do, the objects which we have created and the relationships which we have created, one is the lookup, which is favorite and the contacts, and the other is favorites and properties, the master detail relationship. So you have clear all here, so you just click on that and select the options, the objects what you have. So you have favorite, and then you have contacts, If you can click auto layout, it will bring you into one screen. And then there is one more, which is property. There you go. So here you can see, like, in the property we have, this is a red line which says that we have a master detail relationship between the property and the favorite object. And you can see in the and property is the master object, which is called a parent object, and favorite is a child object. So here you can see, like, in the child object we can see a field called property. So this field, and you can see master detail, this field relates to our parent object. So, and here the blue line, you can see this is a lookup relationship. So between the contact object and the favorite object we have a relationship which is called a lookup. So here you can see to the right top, lookup and master. And the red lines which you see, created by, last modified, and owner, here as well. And in the contact object you can see contact owner, created by. These are the required fields. So if you don't have any value in these fields which are required, you won't be able to save the record. So yeah. And so here, like, I'll be sharing a data modeling, the one which I have presented in the demo. So there is a link and we'll be adding it to the description as well in future. Now here, so let me know if you guys have any questions. And there are many ways through which you guys can connect to Salesforce community. So, like, you guys have a Trailblazer community, Salesforce, you guys have a Trailhead where you guys can go ahead and try different projects, because you guys have a developer edition free org. You guys can create your own customized app. So these are a few things. And this is our blog, SFDC Amplified. And let me know if you guys have any questions. Yeah. Yes, we can convert lookup into master detail and vice versa. So, but whenever we are trying to convert a lookup into master detail, there is a condition. So all the records in a lookup, the fields, so whichever the field which is related to the master detail object, so that field for all the records should be filled. And you can do the vice versa. You can convert a master to a lookup as long as there is no roll-up summary field exist on the master object. So there is one field which is called roll-up summary field. I can show you guys. So if we can go create new. So you guys can see here it is disabled. So roll-up summary field. So if you guys have this field on the master object, so you won't be able to convert that master detail relation to a lookup. So if you don't have a roll-up summary field, you would be able to convert master detail to a lookup relationship. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And I would like to tell you guys, please subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications. So the difference between deployment and deployed is like whenever you are working on any object, so you can just select as deployment because you are not yet completed. Once you are complete, you can select go back, you can make selection as deployed, select the option as deployed and then just save it. So there are like few fields which are indexed automatically. So whenever like the field is indexed, when we say its values are like stored in more efficient data structure. This takes more space, but it improves the performance when at least filtering with index fields. Okay, I can show contact and account in my schema builder. So I can show you guys the relationship between the contact. So I see a question relationship between a contact and account. So let me clear. So contact and account. So you guys can see here. So there is a lookup relationship you guys can see between a contact and the account. So if you guys can see, this relationship like has a property called cascade delete. So this is like why the whenever the contact is deleted and when there is a parent object is deleted for that contact. But this too behaves as a master detail in business logics, but on UI it is like a lookup relationship. So any more questions? So data modeling is like the Salesforce platform. It provides us the standard model, which allows us to customize the relationship between the objects and to create our own custom functionality. It gives us like a structure, like a fields, objects, relationship. Roll up summary is like it will be always created on the master object. So it's like if we would like to reference any child records, and there are some functions in the rollup summary field like sum, min, max. So we can use those kind of functions. I can show you guys too. Mahesh, so types of relationships I have shown lookup as well as many master detail, and I have created today both the relationships. You can even watch the video later. Sure, we'll try Mahesh to do real-time projects on Trigger. So for the fields and objects limitations, it's like uh, or can't have like I guess 800 more than 800 fields, regardless the edition. And like if it has like if any org has like more than 500 custom fields per object, like for one object, and then 300 more fields installed from a managed package. So it's like a total limit is like 800 fields we can create for one object. Yes, Prashant. So differentiate between one to many and many to many. Yes. So one to many. Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll switch back to my slides. So in order to show you, yes. So here, if you can see Prashant, the student will have many teachers for different subjects, and same like for teachers we might have different students. For one teacher we might have many students, and for one student we might have many teachers. So here, like we can see a student and a teacher is like a many to many relationship, whereas a junction object which we have introduced, that is like one to many. In junction object, one common student is related to a student object which has many students. So this is like one to many. Org is nothing there. It is a term, Harish. Org is a term where it is referred for a developer edition, like a Salesforce org they call. Yes, if we have auto number field, then yes, it will auto generate a number for a record we create. Anyone else have any questions? Thank you very much, guys. So, Kishan Singh, junction object. Uh, so if you can see the screen, so between two objects, if we have teacher and student, so we need something third object in order to create a relationship between those two objects, which is many to many, and that's called junction object. Yes, we will look if we get time, so we'll go for development courses as well after training. Admin. Yes, Krishan Kumar. Yes, it will get auto number for all the records which we create if we have a field. Thank you guys, and remaining questions you guys can. Okay, many people have uh, a question on roll-up summary field. So I can I can give you guys one example for a roll-up summary field here. So it's basically a field which will calculate values from the its child records. So here, let me show you guys. So here we have created properties and favorites. So here properties is our master object and favorite is our child object. So it's like I can show you guys here in schema. So you guys can see the relationship between the property object and the favorite. So here the property object is the master and favorite object, you can see the property here, the field which we have defined, that is a child object or a detail object of the master. So roll up summary field, this field will be creating on the master, always master object. So if we go to elements, you can see a roll up, you can just drag and drop a roll up summary field. Here you go. So you can just give it a name as calculate or something. So summarize object. So what object? So it's child object. So what are we doing? Are we counting? So these are the functions which are like predefined in the roll up summary field. So if you go to, we can summarize, we can do summation, we can find the minimum value, we can find the maximum value, or we can do a count on the favorite object, which is a child object, on one of the field on the child object. So now so if you guys see here, we have a field which we have created and it is a roll up summary field. So this will calculate the sum or the count, as we have selected a count as a function. And so you guys can go ahead and on this trailer module and you guys can complete. So today I have completed session 2, which was data modeling. So the next section will be building Salesforce app, and then follows all the sessions we have coming. And thank you guys, and keep trying, keep learning, and just post whatever the questions on SFDC Amplified blog. So we will try our best to answer all your questions. And once again, I would like to thank you all for your time, and we'll be back. Thank you.